Hello, this is Mr. Hornsby83 with another edition of Mr. Hornsby83 Reviews. And I'm going to be reviewing this year's SummerSlam. And before I get into this review, I have to say last year's SummerSlam was better from the top of the card to the freaking main event. I mean, from the bottom of the card all the way to the main event. Sorry about that. But, alright, I'm going to get into the pre-match. Kickoff match before the pay-per-view, which I had no clue what it was going to be, and come to find out it's Cesaro versus Rob Van Dam, and I was hoping Cesaro would get back on a winning streak at SummerSlam kickoff show, but instead he loses to Rob Van Dam. And he did get back on a winning streak tonight on Raw. Yeah, I'm recording this after Raw. I planned on doing it before Raw came on the air because I wanted the predictions, and I didn't want the predictions to be spoiled by what we were going to see tonight, but nothing major came out of it, except for what happened at the end of the but yeah, then we start out with the main card, which was, it started out with the Intercontinental title match, and I was pretty surprised at this because all the matches on the card, and they started with the IC title, and but I guess it was a good thing, a good little way to try to get the fans excited for this match. And I'll tell you what, my predictions were really off this fucking pay-per-view, and this one, I guess I technically got it right because I did pick Dolph Ziggler to win, but I thought he'd win count-out or disqualification, and he beat Miz for the Intercontinental title, which I was excited to see because they've been freaking treating, Dolph Ziggler so bad lately, it's been unreal. This was a guy that was a world champion, a Money in the Bank winner, even got a big victory over Cena at one of the pay-per-views in 2012, and they just completely took him downhill after that. So I'm really excited to see this with Ziggler winning the Intercontinental title. Maybe they're on the verge of bringing prestige back to that title, and they probably figured Ziggler could do that more than Miz could, because right now all they got Miz doing is worrying about the money maker, and it was really taken away from the value of the Intercontinental title. So why not give it to Ziggler and have him try to build the credibility of that title back up? I mean, there was times when this title rivaled the WWE title back in the 80s and 90s. In fact, one of the greatest SummerSlams ever, SummerSlam 92. The main event match wasn't for the WWE Championship, it was for the Intercontinental Championship, which was, one of the greatest matches. I mean, the WWE Championship match was great too. I mean, I loved that with Warrior and Macho Man, but the Bret Hart Bruce Bulldog match was, the headline match. Alright, next up, another title match, which I figured one of the title matches would be closer to the end, but they decided to get the title matches out of the way, so it can focus on, I guess, main title match. But, the Ziggler and Miz match, it was okay, and it wasn't real great. It wasn't neither one of their best performances, but it was good enough to watch. So, next matchup was Paige and AJ Lee for the Divas title. And this one also had a surprise ending. I mean, the match, again, like the match before, was pretty decent. I liked a lot of stuff Paige was during the match, and what she did after the match, after she won the match. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It was just some crazy. She did the same thing tonight on Raw with Natalya. It was just amazing, and I'm really looking forward to see what happens at Night of Champions. And usually I don't get, stoked about Divas matches, but it was really kind of had some good stuff here, so I'll give them that. Alright, next up, I believe, was the flag match between Jack Swagger and Rusev. And Rusev, and I remember flag matches of being, I know other, review shows have already touched on this, like the Mark Time review show, the Grim's Toy Show review show, the Pro Wrestling Pulse review show, which I'm glad they're back. Good to see you guys back on, YouTube. But, yeah, it was just a standard match, basically, and whoever won, flag got to be waved up, got to be shot down from the roof, and, they do that with Rusev all the time anyway. And they were doing it for a while with Rusev. So this match, I thought it'd be a little bit better with the fact that Flag was involved in it, but really was kind of like the Biggie Rusev match at Payback, and then what they had at Battlegrounds. I mean, the one at Battlegrounds was a tad bit better than the Payback one, but not much. But yeah, and Rusev went in there, Swagger passing out to Acklay. He didn't tap out, so they kept, Swagger looking strong, so it's not like he just tapped out and gave up on the country, which JBL kind of oversold that tonight on Raw. But, I'll get into that later. But, the match was what it was. Kind of like what I'm going to say about the main event. But alright, next up was the Bray Wyatt Chris Jericho match. And this match was, I guess you could say, one of the bit better matches. It wasn't real great with these two. I mean, the way Wyatt beat Jericho was pretty interesting. The stuff that Wyatt was saying in the ring, and when he did the little contort thing where he was looking like the thing from what's it called, Silent Hill? Yeah, Silent Hill. He was looking more like that, and Jericho really sold it, looking scared and looking like he was afraid, and that was amazing. So I like what they did with that. It was really great, and I mean, it wasn't a perfect match. I mean, it was, kind of like last three, I just said, pretty decent, solid match. I'll give it solid. But Bray Wyatt winning cleanly, I kind of expected this. A lot of other people expected it. This is one of the predictions I did get right. But, and, I'll talk more about the Rusev thing later. But, and then, next matchup was the Lumberjack match. I think the Lumberjack match was before the Jericho Wyatt match, but hey. And I gotta say, I know not many other people were probably big on it, but I thought it was one of the best Lumberjack matches ever, because the Lumberjacks just were there just to hold them in for the start of the match, and then once they started beating up the Lumberjacks and, Dean Ambrose suicide diving on the Lumberjacks, Seth Rollins getting suplexed on the Lumberjacks, and they get into the crowd and fight and all that. I mean, it was a really solid match, and I think it pretty much got a little underestimated and didn't get enough credit for how great it seemed. Because honestly, it was one of the best matches on the card. In my opinion, I know other people have opinions saying that it was a terrible Lumberjack match. Kane had to come out and remind the Lumberjacks of what to do and this and that, but I thought it was a good match. I mean, them two guys, I really wish I would have followed these guys from Ring of Honor, like a lot of the other guys that came from Ring of Honor that's been in like TNA or WWE. I wish I would have followed them from Ring of Honor enough, because I heard they were really great. But I really didn't tune in to Ring of Honor too much until they put it on 64, and that's when I started watching it. So I didn't get to see the glory years of Ring of Honor. I did watch this past with Sting's last match, which was a great match. Check that out when you get a chance to. And Sting now with WWE doing the NXT thing. I think they need to use this guy right. Don't frickin' waste him like you've done so many other guys. Don't put him in a position that you got Cesaro in, and what you were going to do with Daniel Bryan and probably CM Punk and all that. Don't do those guys like that. Do Sting right, because he was one of the best things about Ring of Honor in this, company. But, Alright, next matchup was the big Stephanie Brie Bella match. And, I mean, I was shocked to see how well Stephanie was wrestling in this match. I mean, she was doing great, and people were like, "Oh, you so good, and you so..." Yeah, well, you know, back in the Attitude Era, she wasn't really that good of a wrestler when she was doing the Man Helmsley era the first time. She wasn't really that good of a wrestler, so I don't know what them fans were smoking last night. They were smoking something. But yeah, I was impressed with Stephanie's ring work. I was even impressed with Brie Bella because I really don't. I care less about the Bellas. I don't care who they're with, who they're married to, or whatnot. I could just care less for the Bellas. But I'm gonna jump to the end of the match because that's where all the interesting stuff happened. Like Triple H came out, Nikki came out behind her. Brie had yes lock on Stephanie. Triple H pulled the ref out, and you know Nikki was standing off to the side, not really doing nothing, not really changing her facial expression or nothing. Brie comes, drop kicks Triple H, which Triple H really sold it pretty well. He sold it better than a lot of other things he probably sold in the past. But, he sold it better than he sold WWE Network on that one Raw where they just kept plugging WWE Network. But yeah, and then we get Nikki coming in the ring, and like I said, her facial expression really didn't change too much throughout the whole time everything went on. It looked like the Bellas were gonna just ball on Stephanie. By the way, and I know other people mentioned it, and I was gonna mention it as well. Stephanie coming out in the China ring gear, I don't know what the deal with that was. Maybe they did it to take off China. Because, you know, Triple H did lose China for Stephanie. Something I heard in the past that Triple H left China for Stephanie, and China was devastated about it, and which eventually led to her leaving WWE anyway. So. But then we get Brie Bella looking like the Bella's gonna maul on Stephanie. Nikki pushes Stephanie out of the way and just clobbers Brie with a massive elbow. I'm like, holy crap. And I predicted Brie to win this because I felt like Stephanie didn't have nothing to prove. But I guess she did, and I know Mark Times called it. He said Nikki was going to turn, so I give him credit for that. I kind of thought she would, but I didn't know for sure because it really was unsure to me what they were going to do with Nikki Bella. But so yeah, I mean the match was okay. It was decent. It wasn't terrible. Like a past Stephanie McMahon match would be, or a past Brie Bella match would have been. But now we get to the sub-main event. Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. And you know what? I don't care how much heat Randy Orton would have got. I wish Randy Orton would have just said F it and just beat this guy. Because I've already said I'm not really big on Roman Reigns. Never really got behind the Roman Reigns ideal of him being the next guy. I mean, you can ask my wife, you can ask, some other people that know me that watch wrestling. I never got behind Roman Reigns. I mean, I got behind Ambrose, I got behind Rollins, them guys were great. But Roman Reigns to me is just, he's already been dubbed John Cena 2.0, so we know what's going to happen. We know they're going to push him. The fans are cheering him. And something that I got to bring up, I'm surprised they didn't do a hashtag, because they do, poke fun at hashtags and Twitter and that, because they're not big on it. Is the guy from Pro Wrestling Pulse is talking about all he really does is like the same thing Cena does, except for he's in the ring grunting like a gargoyle, which I thought was pretty funny. But I think, Roman Reigns, he don't peg me as the guy. I mean, when you put us through all this torture of John Cena, and you're going to put us through the torture of another guy like John Cena, really? Yeah, I mean, Randy Orton really carried this match, and usually, I mean, with a lot of Randy Orton's late matches, he hasn't really carried a match too much. But I also want to bring up another point, and I think he was making a reference to the Superman punch, but he said, you know what, the Superman punch, Superman meets kryptonite, and apparently he only had a fragment, a little like itty bitty chunk of kryptonite rock on him, because in the end Roman Reigns pulls off the victory and wins and goes on to the rocket ship boost that WWE's giving him. I don't know why they decided to do it now, and give this guy more time to develop. Try to get him to be a better wrestler before you, and try to get his mic skills better, and try to get his wrestling ability better before you go pushing this guy to the moon. I mean, that's one thing TNA does do. They do freaking give us actual wrestlers. They don't give us these guys like Roman Reigns. And sometimes I think Vince McMahon secretly gave for guys like this. I mean, Shawn Michaels, John Cena, and now Roman Reigns. I think Vince secretly did him. But now to the main event, which was the most boring. And I've seen a lot of title matches, and I've seen a lot of boring matches. I sat through the Scott Steiner Triple H title match at Royal Rumble 2003. I didn't think nothing would be more boring than that match, but God, this was a really boring match. I'm happy with the outcome, but I was not happy with the match. Brock Lesnar done like a gazillion German suplexes, done maybe one standard suplex, hit like 2 or 3 F5s. Cena got an AA and got the STF, and that's about all Cena really did. And I gotta say this. Randy Orton talked about kryptonite with the Roman Reigns match. I think freaking Brock Lesnar covered himself in kryptonite last night. That's probably why he was sweating so bad. He covered himself in kryptonite so that he could take down the current Superman. And he just dominated the current Superman. And Brock Lesnar becomes your new defending reign. Hold on, let me read this. The new reigning defending WWE World Heavyweight Champion. But yeah, I mean the match was really lame. I hope they don't do another match. And if they do, it seemed like Cena, and you know, I'm not a big Cena fan, and I've been one of the main advocates that they can't wrestle. But at least he does put effort into matches. I mean, he does more than just, you know, what he did last night. He usually does more than that. But I really think it was just a terrible match, the way they booked it. But, you know, you're booking Brock Lesnar to be this unstoppable beast, and to have him obliterate John Cena with the kryptonite all over him, that's why he was sweating so bad. But, yeah, you know, it is what it is. New WWE World Heavyweight Champion, title final off Cena. Hopefully it stays off Cena, but I know eventually somewhere down the road, may not be this year, may not be next year, but before Cena's gone and done, WWE World Heavyweight title will be his again. 2 more times at least, I'm gonna say. But I hope I'm wrong about that, but I just know how it is with Cena. But now I want to talk about the unveiling of a new WWE champion. Now we've seen the logo on all the new logo on all the belts tonight. I wish they would have got rid of tag team titles and made new ones, because the current tag team belts look like crap. But I'm going to talk about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and I already kind of knew what it looked like because of Belt Talk and Hazard F5. They they kind of leaked it. Hazard F5 did a video about it, and I gotta give them credit for that, because the belt turned out to be what was leaked. And I was hoping they'd tweak it, but you know, when I seen it the night on Raw, it didn't look that bad. I still wish there was a champion banner on it. I mean, they done did away with the eagle, they done did away with the eagle and the globe, which really disappointed me, because WWE World Championships have always had the globe and the eagle. I don't know why they decided to do that. Now they don't have the champion banner on there. But I mean, the title still looks okay, you know. And I'm gonna beat Hazard F5 to the punch, because he does give, you know, names to some of these belts. He named the last WWE Championship, the big logo. I'm gonna name this one the WWE Network Championship, although it's classified as WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But when I seen the photo that has that surprise show while he was doing an analysis of the title, it didn't look that great. But then when you seen it tonight, on Raw, it looked a little better than it did in the photo. And I don't know how many people seen the video, but check that video out and see how it looks tonight. I think it looked a little better. I wish they would have done more to get the champion banner, get a globe, get an eagle on it, but this is the new WWE now these days, and plus they've been cutting costs by firing wrestlers. I mean, I guess they decided to cut costs with the eagle, globe, and the championship banner. Maybe the next title after this will have it, but I don't know. But yeah, that'll do it for my SummerSlam 2014 review. Last year's was better, and check out. I didn't do my Shuck Week video last night because the battery was low on the camera, but I will do it tomorrow night, and I'm really excited about the video I'm doing, which I guess now will be Friday, but yeah, check those out, and until then, peace out.